Adventures.
We're going live. You what? You've been on
Do what?
various adventures? Oh, he's been on.
How
You're
were
right.
Adam's
Yeah.
various adventures?
Oh, they were all right. They were all right.
He talks all cryptic, man. It's hard to. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It's the pre-show,
No.
everyone. This is what.
No, they were all right. I went to a
This is
wedding
where-
and then I went
Yeah.
fishing with my uncle
Yeah,
down
we're
in the
talking
swamp.
about fishing down the swamp in Louisiana. Hey, everybody, we're just talking smack. I'm sharing the show around. We'll talk about what we're gonna do on the show in a minute. But yeah, it sounds rad. Honestly,
It was fun.
fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. Dave's like, "What are you fishing for?"
Well, you have to.
I'm
You know,
sorry.
you can go to the
Fish.
Gulf. You can go to the Gulf
It's
and you can
funny
fish
to me.
for
What are you
saltwater
fishing
fish.
for?
You
I
can
don't
fish
know.
for
I'm fishing.
freshwater fish. I mean, there's gar.
But I mean,
I
all
mean,
right,
are you
dude.
writing an article about it? Just let
No,
it go,
I mean-
David.
No, I don't understand how I guess I'm just not up on my fishing and hunting. I understand hunting. There's different shot and stuff, but maybe that's just because I live in
I'm
Tennessee and it's second nature. But when it comes to fishing, again, I understand like the idea behind it. Like I need to use this kind of bait because it attracts this kind of fish. But dude, I mean, is there a book I can read? Is there fishing for
There
dummies?
is a book you can read. I'm sure
I
there
need
is a fishing for dummies.
so I know how to hunt for fish. Maybe that's the first lesson. Don't call it hunting for fish.
That
You
would
were off
probably
to a bad start there. Yeah.
be- Gomer's how to hunt for fish for dummies.
We actually have a whole lot to cover this week.
We do.
There's a lot of news. Not really. There was some news, but it's just all the same. So we're going to focus on Hellfire Gala hype and then Heroes Reborn like every week. And we're halfway through Heroes Reborn. Any other news you guys bring?
They dropped the trailer for Eternals, and we
Oh,
know
yeah.
barely any more about it than we did before the trailer. So mission
Very cryptic.
accomplished.
Very
I mean,
cryptic trailer. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not excited for it.
what really?
Yeah.
Well, you're
I mean, I'm
notoriously a fool, so yeah.
It's MCU.
I will
I
say-
don't know why anybody.
I will
wouldn't
say,
be
as far as
excited.
Marvel movies go, I am not excited. I'm not on the same level of hype as I do have for other Marvel movies. You know,
I mean, I guess that's
That's
fair.
a fair
I mean,
way
it's
to put
pretty, It's pretty small on the Marvel spectrum, but
right?
the floor for the Marvel spectrum is still pretty damn high. You know.
Yeah, in my opinion, the MCU has earned a lot of
It's earned a lot of trust.
ability to spread out, and by process of
Yeah,
elimination, really, they have to spread out.
Yeah.
They're going to
I mean,
wait
this
and see
is-
how things go because they had all these things in pre-production before the Fantastic Four, before the X-Men. They know that if this current phase fails, quote unquote fails, whatever that even means in terms of comparison in the MCU, especially after Endgame, but then they still have that to fall back on. They still have huge name characters, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men to fall back on if this phase fails. So they can really do whatever the hell they want.
I mean, this
And
is
they
the
have-
first time.
The D plus shows have shown, they'll do whatever the hell they want.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
people will flock
but-
to it.
They're throwing a lot of things out this year, and it's the first time since Guardians that they're throwing out characters that 99% of the population has never heard of.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. All right, we have food news, of course. Just a single hit, kind of a tech thing. then,
It's
man-
not that Mountain Dew lemonade. That's that Twitch.
It's not that.
Okay.
It's something more high tech. I love this. I love this food news story. Anyway, moment of destruction with. I mean, it's everything.
Oh, it is everything. They dropped.
Everything
crazy.
Transformers. It's insane how they just dropped this on it. It's movie. It's new comic. It's old comic. It's ongoing comic. It's toys. And then we're reviewing like 4 different new books that dropped all in the same week. Why? I don't know. And then we have top 3, which, man, it was a strong week. It was a strong week.
It was a very diverse week. There's a lot of books came out, and
Dude, I had,
there are
like-
a lot of contenders. I could see a lot of different things being on people's top 3 this week.
Dude, I have like 4 paragraphs of shit on my number 1 pick this week because I was like, oh my gosh. I went back and read like 15 different comics.
Oh, I bet you did. I bet
because
you
of
did.
my number 1 pick this week because of all the threads. Anyway, schedules have indeed, been a little screwed up. So top 5 is now TBD because I got stuff to do. I got stuff going on. Sorry. We knew it was going to happen. My sitter might actually have just walked in the house, so maybe
Mm.
it'll be back on, but not this week because Marketplace is on. No matter what my babysitter's up to.
Oh yeah,
Because-
because we don't really need your babysitter.
All
for
all I
Marketplace.
have to do is produce. My kid can sit in here with me while.
That's good. That's good because
yeah.
AEW has a really big show going on right now tonight.
Yeah. So be here for some Marketplace this Tuesday, and then top 5 hopefully soon. I'm telling you, man, my kids got vaxxed, and then they were just like, "Bye, see you guys." You know, like to the hour. Like my kids, all right, it's been 2 weeks past. Bam, and even actually, I'm not gonna even lie. They left a little bit before, the full kick in was, but whatever.
Whatever.
I know.
Bad.
But
parents.
honestly, after a year and a half of being restricted and being actually pretty cool about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of
get
people
out
got
too.
cabin fever, and it's
Oh,
hard
yeah.
to blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will get my babysitters back eventually. All right, so yeah, there you go. That's the show. Let's actually do the damn show now. How about that?
Well, there's an electricity in the air, folks.
It's
a palpable hue
Buzz.
of anticipation.
Biz.
A hue of anticipation. Man, I have so many images for this week. I mean, there's so much good shit to talk about. And it's all comics. Hell with the Greetings, geeks. Welcome back to another episode of This Geek in Comics, our Geekers comic book shit talk show.
Shit
Talk
talk show.
Gomer Adam Normal Taylor, aka David. How's it going, guys?
You guys harmonized that one pretty well.
It
this
was.
week.
We did.
It was an echo
Yeah.
too. It was like we were in a concert
I've
hall.
got some kind of distortion.
Oh man, you better tweak
Man,
it.
you always have some sort of
Yeah, you always
distortion
got
going on
something
over
going on.
there.
How's it going, guys? How was the week? How was your week?
Been a good
Pretty
week.
good, dude.
That's
Can't
good.
Been a
complain.
good day.
Couple
Been a
weeks.
really good day.
Oh, good day. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. You
No,
guys
man,
do
it's been a
anything
huge week, though. Huge
Yeah.
week in comics, lots of books, lots of things to talk about.
Oh, so you guys don't even want to chit chat? You just want to get right into it?
We don't
can
have
just get-
time, Gomer. Let's hit the
You
ground
really
running.
don't.
We were chit chatting in the
Ain't got
pre-show.
time for no
I
jibber
watched-
jabber.
I rewatched all the Indiana Jones movies. They're so great. Probably the
Ah.
best thing of the 80s, honestly, if we really want to argue about it.
I mean, they're in the pantheon for sure.
They're
Yes,
pretty
the,
good.
the
Yeah.
80s pantheon.
My favorite shit, man. I love it. The fourth one, especially with the aliens. Let's do the news. Shia LaBeouf and Monica is great.
They
Man,
are
there's-
interdimensional beings, not
Oh,
aliens.
my bad. Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on in the news. There's a new
Interdimensional.
There's a new Batman anthology book that was announced. There's an X-Men series from Hickman and probably Mahmoud Asrar finally getting into Moira, which I know
Finally.
we're going to talk about later, so I'll just leave that. There's a new Joker book that was announced. Superman and Lobo is crossing over, but we're not talking about any of that because we're talking about the Hellfire Gala. I have a video for that. Should we do that video too?
Is
Do
it
it.
loud?
It's so fucking classy.
I love the fact that the cards have all the X's on them, so you can like exit out, escape.
If you didn't want to go,
Like I want to hit that, click out, click
we would
out.
never invite you. So
I know.
this is it. Next week, the elegance, the fashion, the
murder.
celebrities, the murder. Yeah, there's going to be a murder as well.
They
I still
did tip
still
their
hate
hand
that this
about the
spoiled
murder.
that.
Yeah.
The biggest social event of the year, the Hellfire Gala. It starts off with Hellions, number 12. Is
Who
that number
aren't
12?
even invited to the party, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think they're invited to the party, but they are going to crash the party. Who thought it was a good idea to invite the antisocial Hellions to the fanciest bash of the year? Oh, no one. They weren't invited, but they show up anyway. Yeah, that sounds about right. Great variant covers for all of these.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
All of these issues. damn, looking dapper
I,
as
I
hell.
love Mr. Sinister. He is just so great.
Looking dapper.
Mr. Sinister is probably the funnest X character going right now, especially when Hickman writes him. He's got
Definitely.
his finger on the pulse on that one.
He's great. And then we get some great looks at everybody else. All right, so then Marauders number 21. Great covers here.
Emma
Hellions.
Frost with her big old X on her head.
Oh, I love it. Zeb Wells and Steven Segovia was Hellions number 12. But Marauders 21 is Jerry Duggan. And Chris Claremont has a backup story in here. I want to talk about that.
This is where I see the real meat of, the Hellfire Gala really starting.
For sure. And you'll see that in the preview. Mateo Lally and John Bolton are also involved. Probably the best.
That's a great dress.
It's a great dress.
But yeah, like Hellions is, I'm sure, going to be like a fun little side story type thing. But Marauders is like directly tied in with the Hellfire Trading Company, and Emma Frost is a big part of that book. So yeah, I'm sure that this is going to be a must read for people who want to get the full scoop on the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah,
man, I still, every time I see Iceman, all I can think of is Brett the Hitman Hart with those damn sunglasses he has on.
Oh, and that
that didn't occur to me until you said that, but yeah, he does look pretty much exactly like him.
And his hair too. It also it helps.
Yeah,
too also.
He gave himself the mullet and the glasses. It's pretty much spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he gonna do like the figure 4 leg lock now?
Yep, that's right.
Put it on Sebastian Shaw.
But this is where everybody's showing up, man. You can see all the different craft they're driving, and you see the FF show up. They didn't dress for success. Neither did.
No, they did not.
Tony
They're
Stark
very
either. Maybe they're
They
going to
just
dress
up everywhere wearing the same thing. Basically, it seems.
Oh, come on, man.
They're like doctors. They just wear scrubs to everything.
Great little moment here between Mr. Fantastic and Professor Xavier as he whispers something, and then you see Charles in the background there. If you read the FF X-Men book, which was quite good, Chip Zdarsky did that, I believe. It was great, and hopefully we're going to get some more story there, which would be great. I'm sorry to see that not full on, get more mileage, because it was Franklin Richards, arguably the most powerful mutant in existence, losing his powers, in a fight over him. So, anyway, it's going to be great, but from the archives, a classic X-Men tale with our very first look at a Hellfire Gala by Chris Claremont and John Bolton.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. They're probably going to add $1.
Probably, they always do.
But hey, whatever.
All these.
If it's worth $1, that's the question you got to ask.
Yeah, I assume all of these Hellfire Gala books are going to be at least $1 more, probably.
I don't think they all are, but a lot of them are. Yes,
they're gonna make you pay. They have you hook, line, and sinker on these X books.
And then finally, the third book of the Hellfire Gala for X-Men, X-Force, number 20, Benjamin Percy, Joshua Cassara, Russell Dauterman. Invite only. It's party time, but somebody's got to work it. And when invited guests and a few crashers prove to be planted antagonistic agents, X-Force will need to get their hands dirty and keep this all under wraps before anybody catches wind. That's cool. I love this cover. I love Kitty's outfit here.
Honestly, I'm just glad we're beyond all that Kid Omega stuff, and we're on to something.
Though.
It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it did drag.
Yeah, it went on a little bit too long. But yeah, X-Force is going to be great as usual. It's one of the stars books of the franchise.
Ben Percy, he's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, so there you go. That's your Hellfire Gala. We're going to talk about that in depth next week, all 3 of those books, just like we do Heroes Reborn. So, man, it's going to be busy in terms of buying books.
Oh, we got to do 2 segments then. Heroes Reborn
just
and
like
Hellfire
this week.
Gala.
This is the primer because we're doing Heroes Reborn and Transformers is basically the rest of the damn show. Spoiler alert. But, yeah, let's get into fucking Heroes Reborn. Holy shit. It's not as exciting as this music makes it out to seem, but it's still okay.
Oh, it's so loud!
Come on, man. The joke's so played out. There's only like 7 weeks of this event. Ooh, the bass. Heroes Reborn, big alternate future, alternate history, I don't know, otherworldly event going on over at Marvel. Which is, yes, definitely after Dr. Spectrum shows off how fascist his ass is, alt-right.
I
Yeah.
love Dr. Spectrum. He is
This I know for
Dr.
sure that
Spectrum he's now the biggest piece of shit on the squadron.
terrible.
For sure.
Yeah, he's
Like,
not. I
they're
was
all
hoping
racing.
that he would be good, but no.
But they're all racing. All the
why
members
would
of
you
the
think
squadron
they're
are
the
racing.
bad guys of the story, David?
Yeah.
Why are you expecting them to be good? I mean, the best we've gotten so far is Blur, and that's just because he is an idiot who doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, his mind is too fast that he can't formulate a plan or do
Yeah, it
anything
feels like he's got.
confident
Yeah,
enough.
you feel almost bad for him. But Dr. Spectrum. All right, it's Jason Aaron, James Stokey, and Ed McGuinness.
Man, James Stokey is
I got some art.
I love the art
story
in this.
of
Yeah.
this. Yes, because his art is fantastic.
So he's a Green
Absolutely.
Lantern. Dr. Spectrum is a Green Lantern pastiche in this whole Justice League ripoff. And he's a space racist. It's in my notes. This is from like earlier last week. He calls
he's super
aliens,
American.
He calls aliens inbred fanatics, religious extremists who worship kooky gods, anti-Earth terrorists, alien race mixers, interstellar subversives, cosmically powered creeps, and perverts. And that's just in the first 3 pages of this book.
He would fit in with the MAGA camp, wouldn't he?
Dude,
He's
what?
bringing the word
Yeah.
of God in America to all of these aliens, and
That was like a literal South Park parody.
Yeah.
He was giving his childhood dream was to go to meet alien races and punch them in the face. Like, I think it's
murder them. The two-fisted glory of American exceptionalism is how he literally puts it.
Yeah.
It's almost too much. You know what I mean?
It is, but the art is so great. It really helps, especially that. Oh
James
man, that page
Stokey is definitely the MVP of the book here because, like, they do some zany shit here. Rocket, so spoiler, like Rocket and his gun, and when he gets the star brand, and and he's like throwing stars, but then Dr. Spectrum apparently has the fucking cancer verse inside of his prism.
Oh, dude, what? I know. Yeah, here it is right here. I got all of this shit, dude. It was epic.
It was
dope, epic fight that was beautifully rendered. But really, in terms of any of the meat on the bone, it really was just a big brawl. You know what I mean?
It was a big brawl.
It was just like, hey, here's space fascists. From the
to be fair, there hasn't really been a lot of story to any of these. These have just been little one-shot character pieces.
Yeah, and
all the little story there is in the back with the Ed McGuinness, and this was the lightest one out of all of the Ed McGuinness backups.
This is basically all it was.
The
Wakandan Space Force, which is pretty cool because that's a play off.
When he's torturing Ego, he says they have Wakandan spaceships, and he was like, Wakanda's not even a place. It's not real.
It is. In this, it's like a
they reference back. Yeah. They mentioned that earlier that like Wakanda is like a legend, like when they were talking about like the background for this like alternate universe that we're in.
And this is yanking right from Ta-Nehisi Coates' run with the whole Wakandan space.
Yeah.
So overall, pretty good issue.
I think it was.
I love that issue.
Okay, yeah, it was the art was definitely the headline feature here, but if we are looking at this as a critique on American society, this one's probably the most on the nose that we've had.
It is super on the nose.
Yeah, xenophobic.
No.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
He's a xenophobic, like. And they say it directly, right? American exceptionalism. All the things you were rattling off, they are taken directly from a lot of
right-wing talking points.
Well, spanning back decades. Like Nixon was talking about, like going after the creeps,
exactly.
and like he does talk about like terrorists and like subversives was probably my favorite.
Race mixing. He's mentioned race mixing.
Yeah,
which is a classic racist sort of, thing that's now accepted. I don't know. Anyway, Nowhere is a prison. Build is a prison. He kills a Celestial. And
and incidentally, that might even top Hyperion's Galactus feed, is him just like decapitating a Celestial.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going with that.
And not only does he have a floating prison, but he's actively executing people in his prison also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, just a lot of awesome shit here.
If Hyperion was like America being the world police, in which Dr. Spectrum kind of has that going on too, I guess. But and then like Blur was like the ADD like social media culture, then Dr. Spectrum is definitely xenophobia and racism.
Well, he's like Manifest Destiny. He's going out into the West.
Oh, there is a
that's a good way of putting it.
Is inherently racist.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, you're absolutely right. Man, that all works together. See, it's really hard for me to tell if this book is brilliant or accidentally brilliant.
I think that there's too many things like from issue to issue for them all to be just shit that we are like looking too deep into.
I know, right? I know. I mean, dude, this might be the best Marvel event in terms of just making those points, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's also doing it in this way of not using actual Marvel characters, I guess. You know what I mean? It feels like it's got a Watchmen element to it in that way. Because in Watchmen, he never used actual DC characters.
I mean,
you know
these are
there's broad parallels.
Very low tier
parallels,
characters.
Very broad.
That you could definitely do whatever you want
aren't all the parallels in this kind of broad?
I suppose. But yeah.
It's hard to really nail it down where it's at. So
I will say that this one is probably the least like fun in terms of like making winks and nods towards DC's history.
Yeah,
I can't really think of anything this time around, you know.
Oh,
but
there's
not really.
There's the obvious, you know. I mean, was Rocket Raccoon not sort of like a Lobo?
Yeah, I got that kind of vibe too.
You know, I didn't think about that, but yeah, kind of. Sure.
Yeah, I got that a little bit. All right, Dr. Spectrum is supposed to be like a Green Lantern.
Well, sure, obviously. The characters themselves are always going to be
but
DC
when they're talking about Ego sort of has that same power, you know, the Spectrum powers a little bit, you know, when they're fighting, when he's torturing. So maybe that's supposed to be like, what's that planet, the Green Lantern planet?
Mongo?
I know. It's almost like I'm stretching. It's almost like I'm stretching.
Yeah, it was. They did a lot more riffs off of Marvel history than DC history.
Yeah, for sure. And the tie-ins kind of were a mixed bag of that. Magneto and Mutant Force is the first one. Steve Orlando and Bernard Chang. I'm really enjoying seeing Steve Orlando writing for more publishers. You know.
Oh yeah, he's all over the place.
Yeah. This is sort of a play off of the Mutant Massacre and other stories. There's a touch of Onslaught in here. There's a bunch of Cassandra Nova towards the end, but this actually mentions Graydon Creed, who is an obscure Sabretooth and Mystique's human son. Just an obscure character, and he's actually in the place of Senator Kelly in this, which I thought was genius. I thought that was just perfect. To add just another, you know, little Easter egg, I guess.
Yeah. One thing that was kind of fun here. That's what
these books are about, you know, the little Easter eggs that you can find along the way.
Great art here.
A lot of the
Bernard
tie-ins
Chang.
awesome. Yeah, a lot of the tie-ins this week, including this one, did kind of introduce the other Justice League members that we haven't seen yet, and we saw Martian Manhunter this time around. He was that Skrull dude, whatever his name was.
Skymax or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. And that worked well with the whole Marvel sort of tie-in to Rogue absorbing those powers. I liked the callback. I liked all the callbacks in this, and that's basically what it was. It was steeped in X-Men history in this new, you know, take on the.
Now that was I was not expecting Cassandra Nova. I was actually expecting Onslaught.
Well, no. Onslaught and Casanova kind of evolved, you know, in the same sort of way.
Yeah,
but Onslaught's lame. You know what I mean? Onslaught's kind of lame. Although Way of X, if anybody can make it cool, it's Cy Spurrier, right?
Right.
So we'll see.
But yeah, this was definitely a winner in the art department. This issue with Bernard Chang, just great art all over. This was definitely a winner tie-in to pick up.
Yeah,
I felt you.
And they've also been.
I think it was more of an X-Men book for me.
You know,
have been referencing,
I don't really know X continuity, and I still enjoyed it.
Well,
so
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But they have been referencing like the mutants in the background in a lot of these stories so far, and here we do finally see that they are basically all forced into this island in hiding. And the big incident from several years ago was basically the Squadron Supreme doing a police crackdown on a peaceful protest that they were trying to do.
Yeah,
so, yeah, they're pieces of shit.
which is also kind of woke and in that works. in
That
the
also
context of
kind
everything.
of ties into like a Watchmen vibe to it as well.
Well,
Because with the
all
comedian,
dystopian. I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically what we're getting to here. That's the Squadron Supreme are like dystopian heroes, injustice, that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
damn, don't we have enough terrible Superman running around? I mean, they're all terrible. Omni-Man on Invincible. We got the red, white, and blue dude on The
Homelander.
Boys. Yeah, Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander.
I mean, man, there's so many terrible Superman running around. Anyway, Siege Society. This I don't know, man. This one or
It was
the Young
okay.
Squadron. This
I
is
didn't-
probably
I
my
didn't really
favorite,
like-
dude. I loved
Really?
this. I loved this. Yes.
It's just okay.
This was
is
basically a big team brawl from beginning to end. And
It
it was
was.
kind of neat to see the other Justice Leaguers showing up here. Like we had
that's what I
Hawkman
was.
and Adam and things like that.
Well, yeah, Cody Ziegler and Paco Medina, Siege Society #1. This seems at this point that this issue is building the rest of the Justice League in the context of a post-Marvel Civil War and the Initiative. But in that Civil War, that squadron, especially Hyperion, had the United States all wrapped up. So there was no, breakout or whatever, split from anybody else. This was all leftovers from Nighthawk sort of thing going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he took over Europe. Took it away. Man,
I think it has a lot of interesting ideas. I just didn't really like how it was written. I don't know. There's something
love
with the
this team.
dialogue that I just didn't like.
I love this team. I think that's a cool team. We get Aqua. What is it?
Yeah.
Amphibian. Tom Thumb mentioned Mephisto in the phrase, "Oh my God, oh my."
Actually, Mephisto showed up. The mentioning of Mephisto showed up quite a lot throughout most of these books.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, this week was like the quote unquote reveal that Mephisto is gone.
It still feels like there's more, man. It still feels like they telegraphed that so well that it's
wasn't a secret, really. I mean,
I know, but that's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean, dude. There's got to be some other angle to it. I mean, I won't be let down, I'm sure, but
yeah,
I'm hoping.
But the Siege Society book was a fun read. It was fun to see the other Justice League members get rotated in here. But my biggest takeaway from the book was that Nighthawk is a piece of shit because he knew that there was going to be an attack like this, and basically he got all of his team. Yeah, he got his team members killed.
Yeah.
Which, kind of like Hyperion a few weeks ago, he doesn't seem to care that much,
Yeah, they're not.
Like
they're
he's
not
like,
moved.
oh well, that sucks, but oh well.
Yeah. We got this Blue Eagle character who's basically Hawkman.
Yeah.
We got a Golden Archer.
Which is basically Green Lantern.
Green
Arrow.
Arrow.
Green Arrow. Shit.
That's
whatever.
Batroc, right?
Yeah, it's Batroc.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Dude, come on, that's fun. That's the only reason I'm basically reading these fucking tie-ins for these little nods, dude. I love it. But a great fight here where they're basically making fun of the gimmick arrows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fun. Call back here. With
Well, whenever you have Hawkeye and Ant-Man, or really any shrinkable person on a team together, you gotta do this at least once. Especially if this is like the alternate universe versions of them, and we've never theoretically seen them do it before.
Right. It's just great stuff here, man. Wanda pulls, classic.
Oh yeah, so Wanda smoked Zatanna here.
Oh,
her name's Arcana. And she rhymes her spells like what's his name? The demon
Etrigan.
Yeah. So again, lots of tie-ins here and nods, and I love it. I thought it was dope. And then this, when Nighthawk just dominates Zemo, just murders him right there on the pavement. Oh, he's done. But yeah, man, I love this. I thought this was the best of the bunch this week. I loved it. Thought it was cool. Finally, this long marathon run of Heroes Reborn. Young Squadrons, Jim Zub, Stephen Cummings. This is basically an origin story in two ways. It shows us the origin of this team and then them actually being better than the adults, as they usually are, and becoming a different team which is their original team. I know it's confusing, but here
I
they
actually
are.
really like this book.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
did
was
too.
fun.
This
I like
is
this
cool.
book probably better than most of the other books this week.
This was cool. So here's our team, Kid Spectrum.
Yep. It starts off showing us the origins of each character.
Yeah, we get like a
which is really
Modoc
cool.
Omac
Yeah.
here, which is cool. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that was a fun little swerve there. And then we get Kid Spectrum.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Girl Power.
Girl Power. That's a weird name. I'm sorry. It works, I guess, in the context, but whatever. This looks like Squirrel Girl here, who's Scorpion. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe.
It definitely is Squirrel Girl in costume, but I don't know who the other Scorpion is.
I think it's
The Scorpion.
It's a Scorpion. It's
It
Scorpion.
might just
maybe.
be Mac Gargan, yeah.
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 But it's a twist on something else too. But anyway, new Wrecking Crew, which is pretty rad.
Which all have
the
the.
Wrecking Crew.
Is this a new Wrecking Crew? It just seems like the Wrecking Crew to me.
Well,
Their powers are from
yeah, their
Power
powers are
Princess's Island.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's a pretty
They're still the
negligible
Wrecking
difference.
Crew, though.
They look exactly the same, and they seem to fight exactly the same. So okay.
No, you're right. It's probably the same, but you know me. I'm looking for nods. And then Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool's my favorite nod. He's Harley Quinn.
He's
Oh,
not just Harley
definitely.
Quinn. In my opinion, he's an amalgam of several Batman villains. He's got some Two-Face going
probably,
in there. He's
but
got
like,
some
Oh, he definitely has
Joker.
Two-Face going also with his
it
mask.
seems like they
though.
have it set up where Goblin
that-
is the Joker,
Yeah.
and he's Goblin's sidekick. So
Yeah.
I think like the most direct line we can draw is to Harley Quinn. But
Oh,
yeah,
without
sure.
a doubt.
He's
Without a
definitely.
doubt.
Oh, and he
Yeah,
has a
with the
mallet, of
hammer.
course, here and everything.
Yeah, and
so
he's got the mallet. Yeah. But it's hard to tell because all of these characters, especially those sorts of characters, sort of blur the line between each other, especially when it comes to doing a pastiche of them, which I found was pretty weird. Rick Jones shows up, which is cool, I guess. But Deadpool is basically us, the reader, who knows something is wrong and like breaks third wall and is talking to the narrator. Just a really, really cool, back and forth. And then the squadron shows up and these young heroes realize that they're just a bunch of douchebags
Yeah, they realize they're all just pieces of shit.
and they form the champions, which is exactly what happened in the regular universe too, if you'll remember.
It is. It is.
Well, it was that conversation with Nighthawk really that did it for him.
Right. And he's like, where's that motherfucker? I want to kick his
I
ass.
want to
Not-
help him.
Not Batman,
Yeah.
okay? I got to give Nighthawk some props. He's in the right there. You should not encourage young people to be heroes, and he's doing.
I
the right thing.
mean,
Definitely
I don't
the
know.
anti-Batman.
He's a lot better than Dr. Spectrum, who's like, oh man, that's super cool. We should go blast
Yeah,
aliens
right.
together.
Well, we've already established that Dr. Spectrum is the worst, but I would say that Nighthawk wanting to maim a child doesn't necessarily make him better
For his
than
own
Batman.
good, for his own safety.
That's a weak sauce argument, man.
So a pretty solid batch.
And was it for his safety, or is it more like he's pissed off that this guy is like taking over like somebody's costume that he was connected with?
I think we'll know more of that next week. Again, you're hitting it great with the segues, Taylor. Because the book next week is actually sort of an origin story for Nighthawk and Falcon. Tim Seeley and Dan Jurgens are doing Heroes Reborn Marvel Double Action #1. A tale from Squadron's past. Years ago, Nighthawk and his trusted partner, the Falcon, patrolled the streets of Washington from the vile criminals that lurked in the dark. But that all changed one fateful night. Representing the first time ever, the night Sam Wilson died. Which, is a take on... I'm assuming a bunch of different shit.
Well, I mean, most directly, the night Gwen Stacy died.
Exactly. But I'm
Yeah.
assuming we're going to get some Robin death in there. We're going to get...
I wonder if he's going to beat up Falcon with a crowbar or something.
Dude, or something, So
That'd be
that
awesome.
looks good. I mean, shit, that's a hell of a creative team. Tim Seeley and Dan Jurgens. I'm excited for that. But Heroes Reborn #5, Aaron McGinnis and R.M. Guerra. When there's a riot at Ravencroft Asylum, Nighthawk must descend alone into a realm of madness surrounded by the most deranged members of his notorious rogues gallery, including his arch enemy, the maniacal goblin. So it's a double dose of Nighthawk.
It is.
And also American Knights, which is Paul Grist and Chris Allen, an epic, oversized slugfest between Squadron Supreme and the otherworldly group of Avengers for the final fate of a whacked-out world of Heroes Reborn. That doesn't sound like the right.
That sounds like Heroes Return, like
Yeah,
the
that
thing that's
doesn't-
supposed to end all this.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the right. But that's the one that's going to involve Luke Cage as
Yeah,
Gordon.
it looks like it looks like it's Gotham Central, basically.
Basically, yeah. So that's a triple dose of Nighthawk action, I guess. So we'll see. Cool. Man, I'm really enjoying this. It wasn't really an off week. I think it's kept exactly where it has been. Since
I
the
think
first
this week. I think this week they got hurt by not being able to ship Magneto when they were supposed to.
It was too much.
It was too much. Yeah, 4 books is too much. But hopefully they don't have that issue going forward.
Yeah, and I didn't even really see a problem reading Magneto and Mutant Force before anything else that would have otherwise came out this week. It wasn't revealing or spoilery.
I read
there's
that
nothing
one. I read that
about
one
it.
first specifically.
Yeah,
I just got a little burnt out after I got to the 4th book of
That's fair.
Heroes Reborn stuff. You know,
I think 3 a week is probably the magic number they should aim for.
Especially, exactly. 100% agree. All right. So, we're looking forward to that next week, week 5. Food news.
Yummy.
Food news of probably all time. All right.
All right, so 9 times out of 10, these things are abominations. So what do you got for us this week?
All right. So what is that thing they call, like, it's like that Coca-Cola machine where you can go and you can put all
Freestyle.
Yes. They have it for
I hate
cereal.
that machine.
Oh,
cereal.
this.
Oh, okay.
All right,
All right.
right now.
I hope there's a way to clean out, the milk that's in there because
That is a concern. Yeah.
No, there's a fridge in there, man. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, there's a fridge, but I mean, I'm
Even
talking
still,
about like the pipes and the tubing and stuff.
Some residue is going to be left behind in the inner workings of this machine. So
I have full faith and confidence in the engineers of other countries that make.
I hope you're right. I really do. But
so they built a machine to make the easiest breakfast.
Oh, shut the fuck up. All right, hold on. Because I got details. All right, it's college exclusive, blah, blah, blah.
College exclusive. Why are you showing the...
Hopefully we get the word out and then it comes everywhere. All right.
We have to increase the demand.
Yeah, it's like Facebook. Facebook started in colleges.
Until that happens, but it'd be pretty
Put this in
weird
hotels
for us to,
everywhere.
swoop through a college campus to use this breakfast cereal machine.
We have a continental breakfast.
Hello, children.
How's
it going, students? I'm just
I can see this being a good fit for a college campus, but they should probably try to work these into like hotel lobbies and stuff too. That would work.
Dude, everywhere, wherever vending machines are available.
I don't know if I would want people walking around spilling milk all over the place.
All right, so check this out.
They'd be doing that anyway in a hotel lobby. I mean, they already.
That's different at a hotel, though. I mean,
spill fucking everything. Anyway, all right, you interact with it via a touchscreen to select your dairy bases. All right, milk or yogurt. Which I heard yogurt and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of gross. But if you think about it, I could eat cereal and granola and yogurt. That sounds good.
Yeah. It's like a cereal bar.
Yeah, you can start in cereal into yogurt. That would work. That works.
Well, there are some cereals that are granola.
Exactly. Sure. Combinations of cereals and granolas and toppings like fresh fruit and cocoa nibs, which is basically just chocolate chips, man. Don't get so fancy. Cocoa nibs, just because it's breakfast, you can still call it chocolate chips. Okay. So yeah, man, it's a custom combinations. All right. Like if you want the Hawaii 5-0, which is frosted mini wheats, triple berry granola, pineapple, coconut, and mango.
Are you making this up? Is there like a secret menu of Kellogg's?
No, this is like a menu. Yeah, this is like a menu item that Kellogg's created for this machine, and there are others. I don't have any others. That's the only one I could find. And I searched because I was like, man, I bet they have cool names because that's a cool name. Hawaii 5-0. It's frosted mini wheats, triple berry granola, pineapple, coconut, and mango, and you can get either like milk or yogurt. Dude, I'm all over this. Are you fucking kidding me?
This
crazy. Is the best thing ever. This is the best thing ever. I want one for my fucking house. I want one for my house.
There's David, circling back to what he was saying originally, there is absolutely no need for you to have this in your house.
No, there isn't.
You have bowls. You have a box of cereal. You have milk. You can
have cabinets and a
breakfast
on your own.
breakfast cereal was invented to speed along breakfast in the morning, because at a certain point in the period of history, breakfast was a full meal that had to be cooked in the morning, and they were like, "No, we got to get the kids to school. Breakfast cereal,
man.
Dr. Kellogg. You know,
I don't need the history of breakfast, okay?
Dr. Kellogg, you
Dr.
saved us.
Kellogg.
You do not know the cereal. You do
No,
not
I
know
know
the
cereal.
history
I know.
of
David, you're
cereal.
gonna have to spare us from that for now. But
No, it's actually a really good documentary, though.
I'm sure it
That's what
is.
we're talking
But
about.
like,
Oh,
we
no.
ain't got time for that. You guys got a billion Transformers things to talk about.
Man, I
We
so want this
do.
movie. I so
Yeah.
want this
Man,
movie.
you are the king of transitions,
Segue.
aren't you, Taylor?
I'm moving this shit along
He
today.
is. He's like, fuck this. I don't want to hear
I
Transformers
got-
forever. Man, what a huge week it was for Transformers. First thing, TF-86 is coming.
Again,
4K.
To where?
4K. Now we're obsolete, Gomer.
4K. That means I have to buy it again. Here's my DVD.
Yeah.
Here's my
Blu-ray.
Steelbook Blu-ray.
Get
I gotta
the
buy this
VHS. I
fucking
got my
movie.
VHS somewhere over there.
See,
Oh,
I don't have a VHS of it. I know I used to, but it's my parents, it was that long ago.
yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's not on sale yet. That's coming up for the 35th anniversary of the movie.
The
Transformers.
Blu-ray's great. I definitely recommend the Blu-ray.
Oh man, not only is the Blu-ray great, but I got the Steelbook, which is not available. It comes with this great interior where the discs look like the
The
Matrix.
Matrix.
And then that code there, that digital code is fantastic.
Yeah, you can't use that digital code. I don't mind if I show it. I've already used it. All right, so yeah, buy that again. All right, King Grimlock has been announced. Steve Orlando and Augustin Padilla.
Somebody other than Brian Ruckley.
Yeah, and it's a good writer, man. Steve Orlando. I
like Steve Orlando. Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Yeah. It's a 5-issue miniseries that casts Grimlock into a fantastic world of beasts and magical power. So basically, it's Grimlock meets King Arthur.
It's
they
Grimlock meets Conan is what it seems like to me.
Yeah, because of King Grimlock.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm down with that.
That is a nice looking Grimlock.
Dude,
right
that's
there.
a beautiful cover.
Yeah, Steve Orlando is working hard these last few weeks.
He
He
should,
is.
man. He should.
So they're taking that nod out of a Transformer in King Arthur's Court episode.
Oh,
They
man,
are,
that's
definitely.
a damn good episode, man.
It is.
What's
It's a
it-
fantastic episode.
Wasn't one of the more recent shitty Transformers movies about like King Arthur or
It
some
was.
shit?
Yeah,
it was, and it was harkening back to an original 80s
Generation
animated
1
episode, G1 episode that had a King Arthur angle to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because Michael Bay somehow watched that but missed everything else. Hate that guy. Shattered Glass. This isn't really news. It is kind of, but not really. They're doing Shattered Glass action figures.
Yes.
Each one of those action figures comes with a comic.
Yay.
This is that comic. So you don't have to buy the dumb action figures if you don't want them. You can just, pick up the
Buy the comic, yeah.
Transformers Shattered Glass is exactly what it sounds like. It's Dark Mirror universe in Star Trek, but for Transformers.
That's cool.
Megatron's a good guy. Optimus Prime is a tyrannical overlord, and they go way overboard.
Man, that sounds
Dreamwave
like
did
sounds like phase 2 IDW.
Remember when? No, it's not that deep. Dreamwave did.
I remember Optimus Prime being a tyrannical overlord, but
No,
whatever.
he was an accidental tyrannical overlord.
He
didn't
still
mean
did it.
to.
He willingly annexed Earth into his empire.
No,
Let's
he
move
didn't.
on.
Well, he had
Let's
to.
move
for the
on.
better
We're
of-
moving on. We're moving on.
But did you
Hold
read
on,
the
you just
Dreamwave?
can't shit all over Optimus Prime and then like yada 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 out of it. Like, come on.
Did you
I
read?
can't
Wasn't
in
it
that road.
Dreamwave who did Shatter Glass? I think it was
I
Dreamwave.
know. I wasn't reading them on Dreamwave.
It's pretty cool. It's really over the top. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Danny Lore, I think, is doing that, and Guido Guidi is doing some art.
That's fun.
Dan Kana is getting in on that, so that'll be cool. And then the monthly books; those are still going on. We're promised Transformers number 34.
Oh, they don't have little sub names anymore.
No sub names anymore. And we're going to get into more of that. Man, it has so many images. I'm now caught up to where my images ended. And Beast Wars.
Oh, it's moving beyond 6. That's
It's moving
good.
beyond 6. It's been moved from a miniseries to an ongoing. Yeah, Burnham and artist Winston Chan is taking over for.
That's good because that has
for
been this series' weak point is the art.
We don't have any preview pages yet, but man, I really, really hope we get some. So, yes. All right. So now on to the toys, and then we'll get back to other comics. But this sucks because I actually don't have any of these images loaded up. But we are getting a Transformers Studio Series trio, Slug, along with Daniel Witwicky. Now, yeah, Slag.
Yep.
But you can't call him Slag anymore.
No, you
Slag
can't anymore. That's
is a racial slur. I didn't know it was a slur.
To me, that's just melted metal that's left over.
Is it a racial slur? I thought it was like a term for like calling someone a slut.
Maybe it is.
I thought
I
maybe
know there's a. I know it's some,
it's some sort of
UK.
derogatory term.
Maybe
it is a derogatory term, for sure.
Yeah, and they don't want their toy associated with it. Here's robot mode.
Yep. This is just a repaint of
that's
an old
awesome looking
toy, but that you had to get them if you want that little Daniel right there, and that Daniel is definitely worth getting.
The Daniel is really what you want, just like the Wheelie and the Grimlock.
Mm-hmm.
That's really that's not the only reason I bought the Grimlock that I bought. Here, I've got them right over here. I'm not gonna pick them up, but yeah, that's rad. We also getting a Wreck-Gar.
I like that Wreck-Gar. I think.
I love this Wreck-Gar. Let me load up the other image of Wreck-Gar. Man, we got so much to do. But yeah, it's a great
spiky wheels. It's gonna be hard to keep them standing.
I hope they keep doing these studio series for the '86 movie. Yeah, it's a beautiful Wreck-Gar. And then we get the Sharkticon, just the basic Sharkticon, not the Alicon that everybody actually wants for some reason. But
that's still pretty nice looking bot there.
Yeah,
I want a Sharkticon. I already have an Alicon. I couldn't find a Sharkticon. That was the one I really wanted.
But see, these are I don't know. Are they trying to get over on us by just repainting well, it wasn't Earthrise. What was the Sharkticon?
It was. I mean, that's the same thing that Slug was. It was a repaint of what was it? A Siege or something like that.
Or something. But yeah, some great figures coming. Prices on those are actually reflecting the new increases in prices. Slug is $52.99, Wreck-Gar's $31.99, and the Sharkticon's $22.99. So prices, they did say prices were going up because of plastic increases and the change in the chain, the supply chain from when Toys R Us went out and they don't have as much volume. That's finally catching up to them, so. Prices were going up. They said they were going up, and they have gone up. Kind of sucks.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about some books. Man, the books are finally getting good again. Transformers number 29 is.
I guess. I mean, things are happening. Obviously they need to be happening. We're 30 issues into this damn series.
That's the only problem I have with it. It's taking so long.
Right. So things are happening, but man, it's taken so long to get here. So in 29, it sort of starts off with the Autobots are hiding out in the Forge Pyramid. Megatron and the Decepticons have the whole rest of Iacon. And 29 really is just the Decepticons attacking the pyramid and blowing it up. And the Autobots just running away.
Yeah, it has some inconsistencies with the depictions of the alt mode. That's really my biggest takeaway. The art's just lazy in some places.
Oh, definitely.
We did get a bunch more details in the details. This Titan spark angle that Sentinel was hiding the fact that Titan sparks were actually popping up. I think that's compelling as hell.
It is compelling because, the Titan sparks, Titans, by their very nature, require expansion to be there, which is against the whole edict that they have going on. Yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. It's just, again, it's hard to care when it takes so long to get here.
Exactly.
The action is still the strongest part of this series is the action. And so during all of the action scenes that are going on, it is very dynamic. It's very fun. And they also, is this the issue where they start crashing the Titans? Or is that next
I had that up. Yeah, they start crashing the Titans. Megatron actually crashes the Titans. Basically hacks the special network that they have to control these behemoths that are
Yeah, because they're all orbiting
basically
Cybertron.
hibernating. Yeah, basically hibernating in orbit because of the lack of power. So yeah, man, Megatron just crashes them into Earth or into Cybertron as like a weapon, and
Right.
man, it's so whack.
And
Then we go ahead.
okay, well, yeah, and then the Decepticons, they blow up the Forge Pyramid, so there's no more new forgings for Cybertronians. What there is what there is now.
Yeah, and he did that as a strategic move so that they couldn't forge anybody to actually, work against him. I don't know. He's sort of showing those cracks of a madman,
He's been showing those.
but even more so now, even to people he's working with. But we did have this cliffhanger of this new character, Rogue or Vogue or whatever.
That's one of is that one of Cyclonus's people?
Possibly one of Cyclonus's ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, TF number 30. Ruckley and Malkova. Again, this is a solid issue. I thought it was a good balance of story, dialogue, and action. We start off with Prime and Megatron having this out between these proxies. Great action with Cyclonus and Pyromagna here.
I really like the dialogue between Pyromagna and Strika. I like that back and forth they have where Strika's like, all right, well, we're about to try to kill you now, but I respect you, so I'll let you know. Yeah, and they kind of have this mutual respect thing going on.
Among warriors.
Right.
Yeah. Great action again, really well done there. But
Cyclonus shows up to try to kill Pyromagna because Pyromagna broke the amnesty and killed Turmoil, who also had some prisoners, I guess, and one of them was important to Cyclonus, I guess. I don't remember.
Yeah, and Iacon falls. This is Iacon fallen, and Optimus Prime standing on top of a. I don't know. Is that a fallen
Titan
or
something?
Is that what do they call it when they're
Immersant?
Yeah, or is that an Immersant Titan? Either way, very down. But if you look, 40 cycles later,
man, that's what it feels like reading these books, waiting for them to come out. 40 cycles later.
So it looks like we're getting a time jump. It feels like the series is finally finding itself, but it's a little bit too late in terms of the nothing that's happened thus far. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Really quick, Transformers Escape, number 3 of 5. I hate this series. It's boring. It feels like it has nothing to do with anything going on.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Gomer. Jeez.
It sucks. It's just not great.
Well,
the best part of this was
it's Hound and Wheeljack
cover.
Yeah, it's Hound and Wheeljack trying to get all of the organic creatures that live on Cybertron off planet while they're getting attacked by the Insecticons. That's a great cover. That
Jeffrey Reggie cover.
Yeah. I mean, there's some interesting stuff with Dia Atlas coming back and talking about maybe the Cybertronian afterlife that he was experiencing, but I don't know. You're right. This is a very boring book that does not deserve to be its own miniseries. It could have just been a one issue, just
even if
mini
it was
aside
even if it was like a little bit oversized issue, because basically what they're going to
we have an annual coming up. Coming up. This could have been an easy annual,
It's the Insecticons getting their horde ability. The Insecticon swarm, that's basically where they're going with this.
But everything is super long and drawn out. So.
And we've already seen the Insecticons, all right? We've seen them doing shit with the Constructicons, who, again, have not shown up since that series. And that was probably the best series in this continuity, for what it did. But all right, sorry, Beast Wars.
Beast Wars number 4.
Burnham and Bertram. Not terrible, just not my generation, man. I had a good time.
I like Beast Wars. Beast Wars has a special place in my heart. It's my Transformers. So, I didn't hate this issue. I will say it was still a little light. The art is what's really getting me. Sometimes it's really cool, but then sometimes it's super sparse. And
then sometimes it's that on the same page. That's why I ripped this page. Like Primal's head in this just looks terrible, but everything else just looks really good.
I really like Rat Trap just hanging off of Rhinox right there.
Yeah, it's cool, dude.
But in this issue, Nyx escaped from the Predacons. He gets attacked by some wildlife.
Yeah.
Gets saved by a Dinobot, and Dinobot brings Nyx back to the Primals. And Dinobot asks to join the Maximals.
That's where it ends.
He's saying Primals all the time. It's Maximals.
Yeah, and that's where it ends. On the other end, the other guys sort of got out of the booby trap that that Dinobot set.
This has some fun team dynamics going on and stuff. It's just the art, it's very inconsistent, and I'm hoping that now that this is an ongoing, when we get this new artist change, that helps that.
Nice.
I want to see some previews.
All right, so there was your once every 6 weeks or so, 8 weeks or so.
400,000 cycles later.
Yeah, 400,000 cycles later, we finally have some Transformers. So, I don't know. I think we do get Back to the Future pretty soon, which has been so fun.
We have to go back, buddy.
I gotta go back. But yeah, let's get into everybody else's favorite comics from this week. What's up?
That's a pretty solid transition there, Gomer.
Thanks, man. I learned from the best. I think we're gonna start with Adam because Adam hadn't been around, and that gives me time to load up all of these images that I didn't have time up to.
All right.
So take your time. Go ahead.
So yeah, this is a very heavy week. So a couple honorable mentions: New Mutants number 18. Rod Rice has just been killing it on the art. Anything with the Crucible going on with the X-Men is just very intriguing to me. Just the whole mindset behind it and everything. And then I really like Scout getting a nice moment with the Shadow King, just being like, "I'm not afraid of you." Yeah. But other than that, it was just an okay issue.
Yeah, I particularly enjoyed Scout talking about wanting to keep her friends from being manipulated because she knows what that's like, and she's lived through that. But also, I think the book is doing a good job, kind of outlining, effective communication.
It is.
So, I think it has important stuff to say. This book
has definitely stepped up since the new creative team.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Other honorable mention: Last Ronin issue 3. Just a fantastic book, great art and stuff. You get some classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles art in here.
Some of it felt a bit drawn out, like it's repeating itself a little bit.
It is a little drawn out, which is why it's not on my top 3, but it is still a solid book, a solid fun read. My number 3 is Heroes Reborn number 4. It's that James Stokey art, and man, I just really get a kick out of super racist Green Lantern, because if you read Green Lantern, if you're a longtime Green Lantern fan, and Jules will be the first one to tell you this, Green Lantern is super racist. Hal Jordan, racist to everyone and everything he's ever met. There's a whole
not a great guy.
Well, the whole Green Arrow, Green Lantern thing, when they were teamed up together, was just highlighting how much of a jerk Hal Jordan is.
Nice.
So I really love this, and then just the James Stokey art is great.
Oh man, I love that art. The backup story was kind of lacking this week.
The backup story was lacking; it was lame. But that James Stokey art, I love his art.
Nice. Good call. That's David. If we're going around the clock tonight.
Alrighty. Honorable mentions. Blue Flame number 1.
Blue what?
The Blue Flame number 1.
Oh.
Throwing the curveballs out there.
Yeah. New book from Vault. Basically, it's like a superhero who has become a Green Lantern-esque kind of guy, goes to a unknown or unexplored universe, and basically is put on trial for all of humanity. And now he has to come back and try to save the Earth, or humanity. Goes into his
who's the publisher of that?
Vault Comics.
Oh, I thought. Sorry, you said that once. Sorry.
Oh, but it goes into he's basically like a blue collar guy that kind of invents this new chemical that burns very hot, and he dons a suit, equipment to be able to use it to fight crime, and he has a bunch of other crime fighting friends, and then it kind of starts off with a space explorer kind of deal. He encounters these aliens, and the aliens basically say that you are on trial for humanity, and we will determine through you if humanity should
sounds
continue.
like a Q thing.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
I have to say, so this is basically like the Human Torch is representing humanity, and like the encounter at Farpoint here.
Something like that.
Okay, that's kind of interesting.
All right. My other honorable mention is Something is Killing the Children, number 16.
Oh, see, man, there were so many books this damn week. I didn't get to that.
Really, we're just getting into how Erica got into this life. Who her mentor is, and what happened to her family, and why she is the way she is in regards to this organization. She's considered a stray, but she killed the creature that killed her parents. And the hunter that went after the creature was impressed by that enough to keep her.
So so the person she's been talking to has been a monster this whole time? Didn't she talk to somebody and get her missions or something from some?
There's an organization that gives the missions.
Oh.
This is like young Erica.
Okay.
This is Erica's origins book. Basically, she is the sole survivor of an encounter with one of these creatures, but she managed to kill the creature, and that impressed the hunter. And the hunter basically said, "You have
organization
who works for this organization." The hunter basically said, "You have two choices. You can go into a child protective services." And be in an orphanage, or you can come with me. She's like, I'll come with you.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. That's like a short round Indiana Jones thing.
Kinda.
Gotcha.
I
love that.
My number 3 pick this week is going to be Chariot number 3.
Oh, dude, it was solid.
It gives you a lot more background on why the Chariot is the way she is, what happened, why her sister is doing that. Chasing after her. It's basically the Chariot has provided this girl with a form of immortality, and her sister.
That's the Knight Rider book, right?
Yeah, it's the Knight Rider book.
Yeah, it's Knight Rider meets like a James Bond.
Yeah, but these two sisters basically were raised from a very young age to be basically Black Widows.
Yeah,
and
it's
now
Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes is a car.
Yeah. But they when they set out on their own, they were taking out corporations and stuff and stealing money. And
so they stole the fancy car.
They stole the fancy car, and basically the fancy car uploaded the woman's consciousness into it, and that became a form of immortality.
It's a whack concept, but it reads pretty well.
It's pretty good. But
the art's cool, man.
But Jim has basically been given a choice. The car has basically said that these people that are coming after you won't stop until they get me. You're not a killer, but I'm a killer, and I will teach you how to kill.
And they kidnapped his kid.
So
that's kind of got him over the.
Yeah, that's given him.
Yeah,
that's giving him the motivation he needs.
Yeah, a little bit of motivation there. Good choice. Oh, that was your number 3?
That was my number 3.
Oh, cool. Taylor.
All right. I'll throw out an honorable mention for New Mutants number 18, like Adam did. I'll also do an honorable mention for Heroes Reborn number 4. And I'll do a third one for Black Panther number 25, which ends Ta-Nehisi Coates' run on the character. It's been a lot of fun. This one got hit pretty hard by the pandemic hiatus. It really cut its legs out from under it while it was right in the middle of something. But that being said, this was a pretty solid run from beginning to end, and this is a pretty good one to go out on.
Nice.
My number 3 this week, though, is Black Widow number 7.
And it is not on my list, but I knew you were going to say that. So
well, this book came off of hiatus last month, and now we have the return of the regular series artist, Casagrande. and we get some of those sick fight scenes that she's
I
so
got
good at.
one
Yeah,
for you.
like this one.
I got
Yeah,
one for you. That's probably the best panel
Oh,
on the
that
whole
looks
damn
awesome.
page. Oh, it was amazing.
for sure.
And the
Yeah,
one where Natasha gets out of bed and wearing them short shorts, because man, Elena Casagrande can draw. Oh my goodness. Yeah, everything in this book is just gorgeous. Even the villains, when they're like melting into puddles of goo, just look amazing, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this series is a lot of fun, and it's been like fucking 6 months since we saw this artist on this book, so
Yeah,
that
I
alone
don't
is
think it's
enough to get
been
in my
that
top three.
long, but it's been.
It was last year, I want to say.
Really, has it been?
I
Maybe,
really
man.
There was a huge hiatus for this book, and
Yeah.
when it did come back, it was with a different artist. He wasn't bad, but it wasn't this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Casa Grande is fucking amazing. But anyway,
And Belair, I always want to mention Jordi Belair on the colors. She's going to win another award, and it will be for this book.
Jordi Belair does everything.
wasn't she the colorist on Wonder Girl from last week?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she may win an award for that too. I don't know.
Probably.
She deserves it because those books are beautiful. Anyway, I'll give a short shout out to Shadow Man #2, Cullen Bunn and John Davis Hunt. Really good. I like Valiant when it's good, but my true honorable mention is Little Victories, Autism Through a Father's Eyes. This is like a $20 trade by Yvonne Royd. It's an autobiographical award-winning book, and it's just wonderful about a father dealing with having an autistic kid. And it kind of hit home for me. I have an autistic kid, and I think this is the page here that really puts it over. The kid builds boundaries, and your instinct is to knock those boundaries down. But really, you have to put in extra work and crawl over their boundaries and, meet them where they are. And yeah, it's beautiful, dude. It's beautiful in every way that an autistic kid is beautiful, because you really have to dig into it. Like this panel here, you get different connotations from this depending on how you're reading it. And yeah, just a wonderful book. I couldn't go the week without, at least bringing it up. So my actual number 3 came out of right field, Made in Korea #1.
That is my number 2 pick.
Good. I was hoping that you read this, Dave, but I knew no one else on the panel was going to read it. But I knew if you had read it, it would have made your list. This is kind of hard to explain. It's a sci-fi book about a programmer in Korea who breaks some kind of computer code. And it also involves this phenomenon that makes a quality consumer product out of robot children.
Okay. Have you ever seen Chappie or
AI?
AI.
Okay.
It's very much the premise of both of those movies.
Yeah. Except this, well, yeah, because Chappie and the little boy in AI sort of reach sentience in a way that these other robots don't. But the angle here is it's this programmer in Korea who created it. And he's actually worried because he developed this code on company time. So his company technically owns it, by the law.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he's worried that this isn't going to work, the way he wanted it to. But again, it's very mysterious. It sort of just leads you in, throwing concepts at you. So I'm really not sure how good it's going to be once it gets into, character breakdowns and full on, dialogue.
Actual story.
Yeah, actual story. But in terms of establishing a premise, man, it did it, and it did it. It just was really entertaining, while it did it. So, and the art's cool. It's got this,
it's got this very Alex and Ada vibe.
Yeah,
to it.
dude. But it's not those creators.
It's not those creators. It's I think it's Stephen Holt.
Oh man, that's a comic I haven't thought about in years.
I know you were a big fan of Alex and Ada. Taylor rarely gets Image Comics in issues, but I'm pretty sure Alex and Ada was one of those books you were picking up in issues.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That was a great debut issue made in Korea. Check it out. Cool. So number 2 for Adam.
Well, I didn't read any of those fancy schmancy indie comics. I just read Beta Ray Bill #3. That's my number 2.
Man.
That's my number 1.
That's my number 1.
Damn.
Daniel
I'm be the
Warren
only person with
Johnson.
X-Men at #1 this week.
Hey, no, I'm with you.
Are you kidding me? Go ahead.
But but Daniel Warren Johnson has just been killing this
Yeah.
book. This issue, Beta Ray goes down to what is it? Say it,
It's
Taylor.
hell. It's
Muspelheim.
Oh, yeah, it's
Muspelheim? Yeah, there you go.
Muspelheim or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Mustard.
To get whatever he needs to get.
Secret sword.
Whatever. There's a Transformers reference in this. That's all you need to know for me. So you got me on that. But I really like this issue because Scuttlebutt has turned into sort of like a humanoid form, and Scuttlebutt is his ship.
Yeah.
And so Beta Ray and Scuttlebutt have these really awkward interactions, but the way they kind of break the ice is they go down and they play ping pong.
Yeah.
It's just a really great little scene.
Yeah. And they did a great job setting that up last issue, where we see that Beta Ray Bill normally just plays ping pong like against
himself.
Against the wall.
Well,
And,
isn't he technically playing with Scuttlebutt, playing up against the wall?
Yeah.
Well, it's the table folded, whatever. But yeah,
That's what I took from it a little bit.
But yeah,
Go
this
ahead.
is the first time they're able to have a volley with each other. It's kind of a cool character moment for him. I think.
I love how Danny Warren Johnson is taking all of these just weird, crazy, violent characters and building this complex sort of romance and
all of these
imposter
characters
syndrome.
have issues. They all have issues, but they all together kind of work when they're all
Sif
together.
loves Beta Ray Bill, but obviously only when he's not himself.
Not horse form, yeah.
Yeah.
Scuttlebutt seems to really have this infatuation and, dare I say, love and attraction for Beta Ray Bill just for
she tells him that he is enough the way he is, and she gives him his own axe, saying you don't really need whatever you're going after.
She says it's not too late to turn around.
Yeah, she says it's not too late to turn around.
This comic is simultaneously one of the raddest things I've read in a really long time, and also one of the
heavy metal,
and also it's one of the sweetest things I've read in a really long time. They have this really almost heartbreaking dynamic between the two because Bill can't love himself in a way, and that's kind of the underlying issue with all of this.
It's like hopefully tragic right now.
Yeah, he has this self-loathing, and Scuttlebutt is trying to help him, but also kind of hates that she's helping him because she doesn't think he needs the help, Yeah. At least not the way he's trying to get it, I
think there's also this angle there, too, where he's not sort of sharing, because she did kind of break into him a little bit where, he was totally against anything having to do. He didn't like the idea that Scuttlebutt had shown up as this woman because his ship has basically been just him and his ship. His ship knows everything about him. That's got to be a bit, off-putting.
That did show up there too when she had the archive room.
Exactly. Yeah. But in a way, and he sort of sees it in the archive room. Well, she still loves, or at least, is tolerating me and is treating me with all of this grand, respect. Even though she does know everything about me. It was just, man, this book's the real deal. It's really well done. It's fun.
It can be summed up
while also being a book about, what's his face, just shooting fire demons.
Yeah, fucking Scourge and Piff and all. They make a great crew. They honestly do. I would read an ongoing about the adventures of pirate Beta Ray Bill and this crew just marauding across the fucking galaxy.
Just the Odin working at a bar,
Yeah, that was fun too. I like this
that.
Odin a lot better than I like the Odin in the main Thor series right now. I'll also say that. Yeah. But it's such this weird combination of endearing, but also you have them kicking fucking fire demons off the hull of a ship as they travel across a fucking lava sea,
Yeah. And the ship's transforming into the Yamamoto.
Yeah,
it's rad, dude.
Yamamoto.
Yeah, it's rad, dude. Great choice.
This thing is balls to the wall, but it also hits you in the feels, and I don't know how to feel about that.
I mean, it's amazing. Danny Warren Johnson, all right.
He's the real deal.
His first book was with Donny Cates before anybody knew who either of them were, and it was a book called Ghost Fleet from Dark Horse. And I picked it up on a whim because it was a light week years ago. This is 15 years ago now, I think that book came out. But I knew then, man, if not Donny Cates, I knew Danny Warren Johnson was going places, dude.
And he's done a lot of fun stuff over at Image. You have Murder Falcon, Extremity.
Amazingly good. Extremity's okay. I wasn't as much of a fan of Extremity as I was Murder Falcon, dude. Murder Falcon is just brilliant, dude. So good. All right, Adam or David, you're up.
Okay, well, my number 2 pick is made in Korea. Like
That's a
Gomer
good
said,
choice.
So you're done.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done.
He is done.
Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah, I just really like I was saying there. If you've ever watched Chappie or AI, there's a lot of elements in there. Like Gomer was saying, there is a computer programmer in a factory, a business office setting, who basically cracks a code, and the code is basically an AI.
Yeah.
And he realized he's realized that he has done it on company time on a company computer, and he's trying to basically get that code out. So he uploads it into this surrogate,
who is shipped to
this couple in Texas. There's something happening where children are not the birth rate has been affected somehow.
And they got sort of gloss over that.
They do kind of gloss over that, but
I don't think the why is important in this.
Yeah,
context.
but basically these androids or these robots are basically to serve as surrogate children. Proxies is what they call them.
Yeah.
For these childless couples. And the programmer in Korea basically uploads this AI program to this proxy that gets shipped to Texas, and that's it. That's it. They give her own room, and she reads all these books, and we get to see what's going on.
Yeah,
but it's a really cute story, and the art
it was really delivered well.
It was very well done. I really appreciate the art in there. Like I said, it has that Alex and Ada vibe to it, but it's not this. It's Jeremy Holt and George Skall and Adam Willett.
Yeah.
So none of those names are associated with Alex and Ada, but it has that vibe
this
to
will
it.
have less robot fucking than Alex and Ada did.
Oh man, it might have some. It may have some.
We don't
know
yet.
Not. I mean,
I hope not.
I think there's other robots running around too.
There's another robot.
They can fuck one of them, I guess.
They went these parents went to one where it was basically like a reveal party for this proxy for a woman.
It was whack, dude. It was like
so
dystopian as hell.
But there was like a little side story in there where it kind of shows this story of these 2 children that whose parents died in a car crash. They go to live with their grandmother, and one kid is continually growing and getting older, and the other kid is staying the same.
Yeah.
And it turns out that this is one of these proxies, and it's basically like a forever little sister.
It's weird, dude.
It's an interesting book. I am looking forward.
We'll see where it goes.
But yeah, that was my number 2.
Taylor.
My number 2 is actually going to be Milestone Returns, Infinite Edition 0.
Oh, nice. I didn't have this in the running because it actually came out like last year.
Well, I got it on the shelves this week, so fuck you.
It was newly printed. It was newly printed this week.
Well, my bad.
No, you're good.
It was my first time reading it, and I think that this comic has a lot of important things to say, and I get that I'm not the person to really be talking about those things, but it feels very timely. It feels like this is exactly what Milestone is supposed to be, which is a way of telling stories for people who, both on the page and in the writing room, don't often get a chance to tell their stories. Yeah. And I thought it was all done pretty well. The art segments, especially for the Static Shocks stuff towards the beginning, was all really well done. And I enjoyed the hell out of this, and I'm probably going to be picking up at least a couple of the books that they are basically previewing here.
Nice. It's great, man. And it's not really a lot on the bone. It touches on all of the themes of all the characters, but it really wasn't a lot for you to sink your teeth into, who the characters actually are. But hopefully it's definitely a good, teaser for what's coming up.
It was mostly just a teaser, but more so than being good, this was important.
Exactly.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. Excellent choice. My number 2 is Department of Truth, number 9, James Tynion and Martin Simmons. Continues to be, in my opinion, one of the best books on the shelf, man. It just has this amazing art. This issue dives really deep into how these organizations manipulate reality. I don't know if I should go over the premise again, but basically in this universe, which is supposed to be our universe, things can become reality just by enough people thinking that they are real. And of course, there are competing organizations trying to use this phenomenon to take over the world, and the United States, Department of Truth is trying to keep it secret and secure and all that shit. But this gets into how they actually do it through the use of symbols and this weird continuum of knowledge that sort of acts like magic, but isn't really magic. It's just basically weird social studies built out of historical social constructs, right? It involves just history and the elites, the Freemasons, secret organizations of the Victorian era, Aleister Crowley.
So the Golden Dawn and the Thule Society?
Yeah, dude. Hitler, just everything. How the cross between Eastern and Western philosophy, just the way Tynion weaves all of this shit together is so brilliant that it's almost impossible for me to describe it to people without sounding like the madmen who are being portrayed in this. And it makes you wonder, are these people who you think are madmen who go off in these conspiracy theories, are they actually madmen, or do they get it? Although they are, but in the fictional, tangent that Tynion is taking you on here, you could really see if this phenomenon was actually happening, why these people would act so crazy, because they're not crazy. They're actually the only ones who actually know what's going on. And just the artwork and the depictions of, history and
I was gonna say, this is beautiful artwork that you're showing here. Like, especially love like this page and that last one you showed
with the cars going. And this happens for like 4 or 5 different, pages where they're on a trip. And it's basically a guy who's a veteran in this organization showing one of the new guys how he does what he does. And he goes about how Aleister Crowley cracked the code. And basically the way it's sort of like Manson. You know how Manson sort of just created his own importance in the minds of those who followed him, and then imposed messages and symbolism onto those followers to go out and do things, to where Charles Manson now has this iconic persona. That's basically what Aleister Crowley and Hitler did. But what Tynion is saying in here is there's actually a methodology rooted in history and a weird continuum of knowledge that really you have to read the book to fully understand what he's talking about. But once you do, you're like, wow, man, this is dope. And it is. David.
What's up?
This is right up your alley. I don't believe it.
I know. I should be picking this up. Is it out in trade?
The first trade
is out. Yeah.
I might jump on with the Sasquatch stuff here.
Yeah, the Sasquatch stuff is starting next issue. 2 issues of Bigfoot stuff. So yeah, the most likely scenario, because of the way this story works, is there is no Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a story that they put out to cover something else up, and that's how it works. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, it's like a cover up to do a cover up, and you don't even know what they're covering.
It's the woo factor. It's the woo factor then.
Yeah, tulpas, dude, it's deep, bro, and it's awesome.
Tulpas are fun.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my number 2. Great book. It would have been my number 1, but man, holy crap!
I don't know. I might close out the show here with this number 1. X-Men number 20. Is that your number 1?
It's my number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
my god.
This is this the last issue of Hickman's X-Men?
No,
or does he have a gala issue?
I think he has at least 1 gala issue.
Okay.
And then maybe like a wrap issue.
Okay.
Possibly.
Well, this is definitely a culmination of a lot of plot threads that Hickman has been going on, ever since House of X and Powers of X.
Yes.
This is the issue where Nimrod finally comes online. They have Mystique. She still wants her wife back. And she's told by Professor X and Magneto that will happen. She'll get moved to the front of the Resurrection Protocols.
Liars.
If she goes, yeah, they're fucking liars.
Is this Is this the alternate cover with Mystique doing the copier?
Yeah, this is actually the cover I bought.
Okay.
Which is perfect. Just an amazing cover.
That's a fun cover. It really is.
So dope. I love
and
it.
Well, she has to go and she has to destroy whatever the name of the secret organization is.
It's still Orcus.
Orcus.
From Pox and Pox. And it's
There's
still
so many, man. They all blend together for me.
It's still the Forge, the Orcus Forge.
But she has to destroy Orcus before Nimrod could come online. Yeah. And this has been sort of a Greek tragedy from the very start. And in like most Greek tragedies, whenever you go to try to stop the future that you're trying to stop, you always inevitably cause the future that you're trying to stop.
Yes.
And so Nimrod comes online, and at first Nimrod has the personality of the dead husband of the doctor who brings him online.
Which is so perfect.
It is perfect.
Erasmus is his name.
Erasmus, yes.
And here, just to show you a little bit of background, this is from X-Men #1. This is Dr. Gregor, who is the wife of Erasmus. And if you remember, Erasmus is this guy who died a hero in House of X #3, blowing up. Remember that? Died a hero for Orcus.
For Orcus, sure. That's important.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He sacrificed himself for Orcus. But once we get to the end of this review, it's twisting the things here. But this is from X-Men #1, just FYI. She's got this crystal.
It's Hickman, so everything goes back.
She's got this crystal that she's using to put into the Nimrod shell, which is technically, the soul and mind and everything of her dead husband.
So, but when Erasmus comes online, he notices that Mystique is there. He's like, "That's a mutant right there."
Yeah, it's great. He's hugging his wife. And he's like, "Hey, that's a mutant." And she's all, undercover up there.
Yeah. And Mystique has like a bomb on her or something. And she's gonna blow up the station.
Bomb out of a singularity, out of a micro singularity.
Yeah, it's gonna create like a mini black hole.
Yeah.
But Erasmus has the ability to duplicate himself, and one of his like multiple man. Yeah. And one of the duplicates, which is Erasmus, takes the bomb and goes out into space and blows up.
Yeah.
But with Nimrod / Erasmus, whenever like each part of when he duplicates himself, each part that's a part of him. Yeah. And so whenever that part dies, that part of him dies forever.
Yeah.
And
so it's not Erasmus anymore.
Right. So Erasmus was the personality that took the bomb out. So when Erasmus died, there's no more Erasmus. There's just Nimrod.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really interesting that with every duplicate that dies, he becomes less and less, I guess, of a person.
What he was
before.
Yeah. I think that really echoes the resurrection protocols.
It does.
This definitely
It's definitely a dark reflection of it.
This definitely mirrors the resurrection protocols. Dr. Gregor technically invented resurrection protocols by putting the soul and consciousness of her dead husband into a Nimrod. And I love that dark reflection. Oh man, it's so delicious. I mean, Hickman has cooked up just such awesomeness in this. And then this part, and then her running, through, and him saying that he's going to duplicate himself. And then this part, he's like, "Look at me, mutant, you have failed. When you return home, tell your masters that today I was born into existence, and the first thing I experienced beyond the love of my creator was pain and loss at your hands." So like Adam was saying, the mutants basically created, I mean, not that Nimrod was going to be a good guy to mutants anyway.
Yeah.
But he's going to be a whole lot more motivated.
Now he's motivated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it wraps with what I think is the most poignant part. I think this is exactly where Hickman has been going for this entire run. This is Omega Sentinel talking with Dr. Devo is his name, I think. Dr. Devo.
We are Devo.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he says to her, yes, they hate us and we hate them. That's the current state of affairs. But down here, they don't just hate us, they fear us. So the entire 180 has already happened. The mutants who the X-Men, who were set to, their mission was to protect a world that hated and feared them, are now attacking a world that hate and fear them. And it's perfect, dude. It's so damn awesome. Wrapping up, Mystique comes back, and what about Irene? Irene Adler, Destiny. And Charles, what about her?
What about
oh,
her?
you asshole. Oh,
yes,
dude.
so cool.
That's so cold-blooded, man.
It is. I mean, she did fail.
Oh, exactly. And that was
Yeah.
part of the deal. You have to succeed to do it.
And
My thing
incidentally-
is,
Okay.
they knew she was going to fucking fail. They just wanted intel, man. Or they wanted to push Nimrod to hate mutants even more using Mystique.
The thing that bothered me the most about this issue, though, she
Yeah.
could have easily succeeded. Just throw the fucking bomb
Yeah.
through the gate and let it blow up before they could possibly react to it.
Yeah,
you
I
don't
don't
have
know.
to watch Nimrod come online in order to enact the plan here.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. But she's also got her own agenda. You know what I
I
mean? So I'm
guess,
not really
but-
sure. And then we wrap really with Moira. Charles and Magneto head over to Moira's secret spot, and she's reading the books of Destiny. Irene Adler's Destiny's Diaries, the Books of Truth, first debuted in Extreme X-Men #1, 2001. Trust me, if Jules was here, we'd both be going fucking off because these things have popped up throughout X-Men history. It's kind of like Nostradamus quatrains. You can do whatever the hell you want with them and make them mean whatever you want. So the fact that Moira is studying them is kind of important, especially leading into Inferno.
Everything's important, man. It's
especially
Hickman.
leading into Inferno.
Yeah.
Because this
I
is
also liked
I'm
how,
super excited for Inferno now.
Yeah.
Hickman
Yeah.
has laid his table. Everything is finally in its nice little spot. I'm really excited for him to just let loose with Inferno and just get this shit going.
I'm more concerned about him not wrapping some things up from his X-Men run. Now he did the Vault, okay. What about Horticulture? These old ladies, they were great. I wanted to see more of them. I don't know.
They've
I'm
already
sure
started
those
branching horticulture out into they were in that tie-in for
Empire.
They did like the Plants vs. Zombies thing with them and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like horticulture isn't necessarily something that Hickman is going to wrap up as much as it's like something he's put into the world and
It's
just
a
going to let
concept
them
that's out there.
Just let them flourish on their own, like.
So, man, this was amazing. This made the whole run, the whole 20-issue run, at least thus far. There might be a 21st issue for the gala. I don't even know, but man, this was so damn epic. It did. As soon as I finished it, I was like, I know I've seen this shit before. So yeah, I went back to House of X, and yeah, there's that dude who becomes Nimrod. He was that guy. And then X-Men #1, she's like, I got the secret. And then X-Men #6, Mystique hanging out with the mask, just planning. So Inferno's going to be off the fucking
and they
hook,
did quote Destiny word for word to close out this issue too. Which
exactly. Burn it to the ground. If they have this island, they're not going to bring me back. Burn it to the ground. Inferno. So it's going to be Moira versus Mystique. And I'm sorry, Moira's already been there. She's already taken you guys on. There's no way Destiny is coming back. Maybe the Legion angle now, because Legion can do whatever the fuck he really, whatever he wants, really.
Legion is an interesting X Factor who does not give a flipping shit about any of the giant plans that the Quiet Council has.
If anything, he loves plans only in the context of him being able to crash them down on top of all of these shitty planners who think they have any idea how to control anybody.
Especially
that's exactly what they're doing.
Now that Franklin Richards doesn't have his powers anymore, Legion is probably the strongest mutant.
Yeah. I still think Franklin is a wild card as well, man.
Franklin might eventually get his powers back. For the time being, let's take it at their word that he can't use his powers.
Is it an editorial reason they're taking his powers away? Is Dan Slott's control
because
over
he's the main character in the Fantastic Four, and that book is boring as shit. Yeah, Franklin's one of those characters where you have to nerf him if he's going to be a main character.
The best way
instantly solve everybody's problems.
Hanging out with Leech, man. That was the best way they ever nerfed him because he still had.
That was
his
a good way to
power.
do it because, like, having him be like a little kid who shouldn't be doing these things, that was a cool way to do it. And then like introducing like adult him who has like perfect control, but like recognizes like, hey, better not interfere in this. That was also a cool way to do it. But yeah. Their solution right now is to depower him.
Yeah.
So
basically, Hickman's run on the X-Men is kind of over. Just on that book, we are getting the Dugan book. With that new
his
team,
run on that particular book is over.
Yeah.
But he is still over X-Men as a whole. He's over the
still
whole
the
X-Line.
dean of the X-Men campus for sure.
And
you know?
honestly, if I have to say, looking back at just his tenure, I guess, as the head of X so far, his books have been the best books.
For a long damn time, for sure, yeah.
I mean, sure, everything is good within its own sort of context, but in terms of the overarching things that are going down with
his books are where all the world building goes on.
His books are like the center, like the focus, and everything else is just, spinning out of that.
It's fascinating. This X-Men title itself has been a really fun read. It's so unusual, though, for a flagship title because the stories are usually, they're either one or dones or they're like 2 parts at the most. There's very little connectivity, at least like from a narrative standpoint, from one to the next. He's just been seeding things this whole time, and it's still been so good, you know?
It's like you said, it is an odd flagship for a franchise, but I don't think we've ever had a franchise that is this closely linked.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it's closely linked is because of the flagship book. If you take all of the other books without X-Men, they're good, but they're not a franchise.
Hickman's always been the master planner, and that's really shining both with him like writing the X-Men book, but also his basically being the editor for the X line and like being like,
he's like
here's
a
what you
showrunner.
should and shouldn't do.
He is.
Like a showrunner, man, for one really, epic sort of Game of Thrones. Because if you take all of these books as different, like Game of Thrones went to like 8 or 9 different stories by season 4, all going on at one time. That's basically what's going on. Sometimes they intertwined, but I mean, that's the level, that's the caliber we're dealing with the way the X books are right now. And I don't think they've ever been better. Maybe when Claremont was writing 5 of them, but that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
No, you're right. But
man, so the gala starts next week and we are all over it. We are all dressing. We will be dressed to the nines.
Oh, yeah.
Wear a collar, motherfucker.
I'll get my tuxedo Speedo nice and ready.
Right. No, we're not dressing up, but there's no way we'd even be able to compete with that sort of fashion.
I mean, we'd look like a bunch of jackasses next to the X fashion, right? I mean, like schlubs.
Yeah. Tune in then. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hang out with our boys, Comic Book Bullies. They record here every Sunday night on this Facebook channel. Go to OutrightGeeker.com for all of their other links. Come back for our regular Monday night show, which may happen tomorrow. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know, because I have to have a babysitter, and my kids are waxed, and hunting. Anyway, Tuesday we are definitely having this marketplace, and we'll have a top 5 TBD to be decided. So keep looking for that. Big Willie's got shit going on all week long: interviews, unboxings, creators just hanging out. It was like quiet for like 45 minutes during a stream the other day. It just had an artist on there just doing work, and like he went and did errands, and he just left this artist on to just do work. I'm serious, like on mute, like he left him on mute,
That's
and then
awesome.
There have been whole swaths of his streams where he'll sit there very quiet, not blinking, and let the artist talk.
It's the not blinking that gets me. I'm like, is his camera frozen? I'm like shaking
breathe,
my mouse.
Breathe, Willie, breathe. Are you alive?
Yeah. But I love his streams. So keep coming back to the Outright Geeker channels. Again, go to outrightgeeker.com. I have that banner. No, not that one. Go to outrightgeeker.com for all kinds of links to everything we do. Again, thanks for listening, but most of all, thanks to these jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Not a problem.
Anytime, man.
We're gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.